Ladies and gentlemen, Double or Nothing is in the books. And if you're here, you're wondering, well, what just happened? The 5th anniversary of Double or Nothing, the 6th event, it went down last night. And for the most part, it was a very enjoyable show. I probably didn't like some of the results, but we're going to dive right into it. So we had 2 matches on the pre-show. The first being Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo in a nice little grudge match, and Deonna Purrazzo won this. I believe she held the ropes or held the tights, but this is not over between these 2 women. And the second match on the pre-show was the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus the Gates of Agony. I'm sorry, the Cage of Agony. I guess that's their name now, but it was them taking on Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan. Of course, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass won because, well, Brian Cage and the Gates, well, I guess the Cage of Agony always lose. But that was the pre-show, and the opening match on the main card was Will Ospreay taking on Roderick Strong, with Roderick Strong defending his international championship. And after doing the preview show, I thought to myself, you know what, I kind of want Roddy to win, but no, Will Ospreay came out here with the W. This was an excellent opener. They brought out Ospreay first just to get the crowd going, get crowd charges. I can't think of any other match that should have opened up this card. Maybe Mox versus Takeshita, but this was such a really good match. Even with the Undisputed Kingdom's heavy interference in the early going, but it was good. We still had the story of Will not wanting to use the Tiger Driver, and Don Callis tried to coax him into doing that. Remember, Ospreay is still part of the Don Callis family. This was good. This match had a clearly defined rules with having Ospreay taking advice from a heel to injure a heel, for the dangerous moves, but it's okay. This was good. Do you have trepidation about AEW putting one of their secondary titles on Ospreay? I do not, because is it the man that makes the title or the title that makes the man? This was a really good match, and it also showed you, one, that Roderick Strong is just a fantastic wrestler. Kind of wish he would have won here, but that's okay. After the match, Adam Cole came out and wanted to have story time with Adam Cole, baby. He's like, I shouldn't be here. Vegas sucks. I should be rehabbing, getting ready to come back. And then we had a video package of someone walking through a house, and it was MJF. And MJF made his long-awaited return. Adam Cole was a little scared. They hugged it out, and then he got kicked in the balls, hit with a brain buster. And then essentially MJF got on the mic and said, listen, my trust was broken. I'm back to being a dick bad guy, but kind of a fun bad guy. He's also all elite. He has a tattoo saying he's AEW for life or whatever, but he's ready to take over once again. Adam Cole was done no favors here. It was a lame duck return to telegraph MJF. This is going to be interesting with all these major players back here, but the MJF is back and he's a catalyst. So it's like, where does Swerve fit? Where does Ospreay fit? This is going to be really good. Also, side note, it was announced that the winners of the Owen Hart will get a world title match at Forbidden Door. So, no, I'm sorry, at All In. So that makes the tournament mean something. This is really good. So congratulations to Will Ospreay for winning the Owen Hart Cup. Up next up, we had the Bang Bang Gang defending their Unified Trios Championships against the Death Triangle. This was a fun match, and this could have gone either way. I wish we would have got just a little bit more time, because we know what the Death Triangle was capable of. But this was fun. The Guns were good here. Jay White was good. I'm really much looking forward to a Jay White Pac one-on-one match, but the Bang Bang Gang here won with a returning Juice Robinson. Yes, so now we have a new lineage. Since the Ring of Honor and the AEW Trios titles were unified, that is the new lineage taking over the AEW and the Ring of Honor championships. So Juice Robinson back. Bullet Club Gold is reformed once again. I know people don't like where Jay White is, where his standing is in the company right now, but relax. Everybody can't be on top. When you have Mox, Danielson, Swerve, MJF, Adam Cole, Jay White, Okada, everybody can't be on top at the same time. Next up, we had Timeless Toni Storm defending her AEW Women's World Championship against Serena Deeb. And ladies and gentlemen, I loved this match. Essentially, you saw that Toni Storm was outclassed by Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb is so good at this thing that we call professional wrestling. She was just so good here. And I know Toni Storm is over, but she's still the bad guy here, but she's going to keep getting cheered. And she kept cheating here. This was still a really, really good match. The power of Toni Storm versus the technical ability of Serena Deeb was absolutely fantastic. I mean, Deeb hit a detox on the apron and then hit another one in the ring, and Toni kicked out. And then Toni hit a couple Storm Zeros. No, that's Will Ospreay's moves. Her finisher kicked out, but she finally hit one off of the top rope. I mean, even during the match, Serena had Toni locked in some crazy submission, and Mariah was ready to throw in the towel. Remember, Toni Storm threw in the towel when Mariah was losing to Serena Deeb, and then so Luther took the towel from Mariah, and then Toni saw Luther with the towel and thought he was going to throw the towel in, and Mariah didn't say anything. But this was a really good match. Toni Storm won by hitting an Avalanche Storm Zero. This was just fun, but the towel throwing is going to really work on the relationship between all of these people. This was really, really good. Who is going to defeat Toni Storm for the championship? Next up, we had Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta. Trent entered with new music. It was the Best Friends theme remix. Don Callis was on commentary back again. They kept switching up commentary, which was good. We had, Taz, Excalibur, Shivani, Nigel McGuinness, and Don Callis. And Don Callis was on commentary for the matches where, he needed to be involved with. But Orange Cassidy versus Trent, I would have much rather Trent win here. Orange Cassidy doesn't have to win every single match. You are making a star in Trent Beretta. But this was good. Trent pretty much kind of dominated this match, and Orange only got the win with a surprise cover. It was solid. Trent was apoplectic. He didn't know what happened, what did he do, and he just left. Rocky tried to console him like, yo, what's going on? And Trent just left. He left through the crowd and was just gone. They succeeded in Trent Beretta, making him an interesting character, and the turn worked. So now we have to follow up. Cassie came back to us Where Is My Mind theme by the Pixie. This was just good. Follow up with this. There needs to be a rematch. Next up, we had the triple threat match for the FTW Championship. Chris Jericho defended against Hook and Shibata, and this was fun. Listen, Jericho maybe catches some heat right now, but this new gimmick he's working is just absolutely amazing. Hook and Shibata just wanted to beat the hell out of Jericho, and they essentially did that. We even had a bag full of dice, weapons everywhere, table spots. There was supposed to be a death valley driver to the table, and it didn't. It overshot it. It was crazy. But Jericho won. Why did Jericho win? Someone showed up, man in a mask and a hood, and it was Brian Keith who helped Jericho win. Big Bill was taken out as he got put through a table by Hook. This was fine. Didn't really hurt anybody. The Brian Keith reveal kind of felt lifeless, but is he joining the learning tree, or is he just, being the bounty hunter that he is. Shibata kind of felt like a third wheel here, and like the real story is in Hook versus Jericho, but Samoa Joe still fits in here. Next up, we had Konosuke Takeshita versus Jon Moxley. This was an eliminator match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and this is the second result. I can go back and forth on the Ospreay Roderick Strong result. This was the first result I did not agree with of the night. I do not think Moxley should have won here. So I don't know if it was an edict done by New Japan, but Mox should not have won here. He is untouchable. He is unbreakable. He can take a loss here. I don't know what was the point of having Takeshita lose here. They need to get rid of eliminator matches, because nobody ever wins eliminator matches. Nobody. It just doesn't happen. It's stupid. It's stupid, and whatever. This was a really, really good match. It shows kind of star Takeshita is, and he beat Moxley's ass. And Moxley has some fighting spirit, and was making comebacks, but Takeshita had him arm injured, and Mox only won with a huge Death Rider. Like, we can't keep and look, I know Takeshita defeated Kenny Omega twice in like a span of 2 weeks, but you have to capitalize on that. There has to be bigger plans for Takeshita. We thought having this as an eliminator match would give Takeshita a big win, another big win, and they didn't do it. I don't agree with this result. Next up, we had the TNT Championship being defended in a barbed wire steel cage match. Adam Copeland versus Malakai Black. This is the third result, the second true result I did not like. I really thought Malakai Black should have won here. The House of Black can't keep losing big matches, and this was a fantastic match. We had dark Adam Copeland, because everybody's got to go dark against the House of Black, but again, like, Malakai Black was great here. Copeland hit a stomp. I cringed when he did that. This was a good match. It was bloodied. It was brutal. It was fun. They got to move on from this feud, just because what are the House of Black to do? They had the upper hand the whole feud, and Copeland only won with help from Gangrel. And this is not to shit on Gangrel, but like, it's still 3-on-2. Malakai Black should have won this. This was a fun match. They beat the holy hell out of each other. There's so much more Malakai Black can be doing. He's another person that could be at the top of the card. I just thought he really should have won here. So we got to see what's next. But this was good. Pro wrestling, absurdity, everything. This was great, but they even teased Brody and Buddy turning on Malakai Black, and that still didn't even work. Like, Malakai Black should have won this match. I'm upset. Next up, this was another result I did not like, but I understand why they did it. This was Willow Nightingale defending the TBS Championship versus Mercedes Mone. And ladies and gentlemen, this is probably my match of the night. This was such a fantastic match. My God, it was so good. For anybody that had any doubts about Mercedes Mone's return to professional wrestling, watch this match and then throw those doubts away. She was so good here. Willow knows how to bring that big fight feel. Remember her feud with Athena in Ring of Honor? This was good. Willow had the match won, but Stoke and Chris messed up, and it was all downhill from there. Mone kept on the attack, and it was over. Mercedes tripped Nightingale, hit the bank statement, hit the Mone maker. 1, 2, 3. We have a new TBS champion. So I get why they put the belt on Mercedes. Like, she had to kind of win her first match. I wish there's going to be a third match, but after the match, right, Stokely is yelling, he's angry, and Stat pushed it on like, yo, like, come on, girl, just lost. And then of course the inevitable turn came. Stat turned on Willow. Hit her, threw her to the ground, and gave her a spinning lariat and left up the ramp with Stokely. I don't think the turn, there didn't need to be a turn. There didn't need to be a turn. The match itself was absolutely amazing. I loved it. It was my favorite match of the night. The size differential really helped. Mercedes' technical ability and speed versus Willow's tenacity and power was a good contrast in styles. This was good, and we'll see what the heel turned up for Chris. It was teased for a while, but I just didn't think they would go for it. Felt like they just did it just to do it. And next up, we had the World Championship being defended as Swerve Strickland defended against Christian Cage. And again, Christian was never going to win here, but it was solid. This was a solid affair. It went 25 minutes. There was so much interference from the patriarchy between Prince Nana and all of them, and it was fine, but like, focusing on the match itself, Christian and Swerve had a really good match. This was a solid match. Christian was never going to win, but he did his job. Swerve was the up-and-coming babyface Works. Now he's defeated the Bucks. He's defeated Bucks' handpicked opponent. Is the Elite coming for him? Like Swerve versus Okada, Swerve versus Jack Perry. This was cool. Swerve at the Swerve Stomp in the house call to win the match. So now I want to see what Christian Cage of the Patriarch could do here, and where Swerve's next opponent is going to come from, because there's a Forbidden Door Gauntlet taking place on Dynamite this coming week, and the winner gets a championship match at Forbidden Door. Next up, finally, our main event, the Anarchy in the Arena match, the Elite versus FTR, Bryan Danielson and Darby Allin. And as the Elite were coming out, they just got jumped. They just got attacked, and then Darby Allin snuck in and attacked, and it was just balls to the wall action. It's so hard to follow a match like this. They were playing with the music, because during the Anarchy Arena matches, music plays. So first it was Darby music, and then the Young Bucks was like, nah, turn that off, play our theme. And then Bryan Danielson was like, nah, turn that off, play the greatest theme song ever. And it was the final countdown. And then later on, Matt Jackson was like, nah, turn that off, that's $200,000 every time it plays, we're on a budget. Good stuff here. But this match was absolutely crazy. Darby got hit by a bus again. He lit Jack Perry on fire. People were going through tables, fighting backstage. Craziness abound. Darby Allin was hung from the ceiling and super kicked with the Young Bucks' new Nikes that had thumbtacks on it, because that's their forte. He's dead. Danielson gets the upper hand. This was crazy. After someone getting lit on fire because Jack Perry was trying to attack Okada, FTR just murdering people. I'm just astounded. Like, shatter machines everywhere. Dax and Cash, tried their best to fight everything off, but then the Elite finally got the upper hand, and it was just too much. They hit an EVP trigger on Bryan Danielson, and Jack Perry got the cover. 1, 2, 3. Crazy. I love that we have this match. The theme music playing on, like, everything about the Anarchy Arena is so great, and the Elite had to win this match. So the question is, what is next for Team AEW? They gotta stop the Elite. Kenny Omega made this match, and Team AEW lost, but this was good. This was a damn near perfect pay-per-view. The heel turn from Chris, the Takeshita loss, and the Malakai Black loss doesn't really sit with me, but this show gets 2 thumbs up. I very much enjoyed it. This is still AEW at its finest. They over deliver on pay-per-views. This was so great. Yeah, that is what just happened. You know what I mean? AEW Double or Nothing, the 5th anniversary of AE, like, just great. And next up we have the Forbidden Door. I am ready. But come back this week for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. A couple other things we got on the pipeline. I will have the schedule up this week for the rest of this in June. But I'll see you when I see you. Peace.